Hello, this is SearingFlames on Deck Tech for Xeno MTG. I will be talking about Blue-White Stoneblade. This is the deck that used to be seen quite a bit before it became Blue-Black-White Stoneblade. So, we'll start talking about the land base. There's 4 tundras, 2 volcanic islands. I'll talk about why I have those in there soon enough. 3 wastelands, and then 4 flood strands, a polluted delta, scalding tarn, and a misty rainforest. I like to mix up the fetch lands a bit. There's 2 Mishra factories, a Riptide laboratory, a Caracas, 3 islands, and a plains. So that's the land base for that. And then we go over to the planeswalker section here. We have 3 Mind Sculptors. It's obvious why I'd have those in there. They pretty much dominate the field if you have them on. The card advantage you get from them is just too significant. There's Elspeth. She provides some extra aggro that this deck needs because it doesn't have too many creatures. Vendilion Click is a very strong creature. If I'm against a combo deck, I can search the opponent's hand, remove a pesky card, or if I'm boned on myself, I can discard a card myself, and then draw another one. Snapcaster Mage, obvious choice. This deck has a lot of spells, and I can recast those spells with Snapcaster Mage. Stoneforge Mystic, another obvious choice for this deck, because it fetches the aforementioned artifacts that make the whole deck Stoneblade. We have the Counterspell package. There's 10 total, 4 Force of Wills, 4 Spell Snares, and 2 Counterspells. Spell Snares are obviously pretty useful. A lot of the most useful spells cost 2 mana, and that counters it for 1 mana, so that's pretty good. Like Snapcasters, Stoneforge Mystics, normal counterspells, Tarmogoyfs, Bobs, they all cost 2 mana, and it counters them for 1. And then removal package, there's the Swords to Plowshares, and then more card advantage, Brainstorm, it fixes my hands when needed. And then for aggro decks, I have Wrath of God to remove everything. And hopefully Elspeth is in play, so I can just create another token after that's done. For the spell artifacts, I have Sword and Feast and Famine, obvious choice. Make them discard a card, untap all my lands. Untapping all my lands with this deck is very useful because I can counter something right off on their turn. So I can tap out on my turn, attack, and then untap all my lands and just let them go. And Batterskull, pretty beast. And pretty beast with Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, who doesn't like a 4/4 for 2 mana, basically, with Vigilance and Lifelink? And we'll go back to some of the lands, like Riptide Laboratory. It returns the wizards, so for 2 mana, like 1 blue and 1 colorless, so I can return Vendilion Click or Snapcaster Mage to my hand if I cast that. Obviously, the useful thing with returning Snapcaster is I can snap something else in my graveyard, and I can also use it for protection. Caracas, it basically can return Vendilion Click to my hand for free if she's threatened, or I can return opposing legends like Godok Teague if something like that. That would pretty much prevent me from casting Force of Will. Mishra Factories, I have those in there instead of Mutavaults because if I have both out, I can tap 1 Mishra Factory to beef up the other one, and you don't really need too many man lands. Volcanic Islands I have in here are for the sideboard option. I have 2 Pyroblast and 2 Red Elemental Blast. Those are for opposing control decks. I also have a Spell Pierce in there for opposing control decks. Elspeth helps me if I need a faster clock. Elspeth can help me with that. Manrika Gosari is strictly tech for opposing Stoneblade decks, so if they get a Batterskull out, I can just fetch Manrika Gosari, tap it, and then destroy their Batterskull with it. Crucible of Worlds, that can protect me against land destruction if I'm against the land destruction heavy deck. I can also combo that with Wasteland or my fetch lands. So if I keep fetching Wastelands with that, I can just pretty much create my own land destruction theme, and then if I miss land drop with it, I can get Flooded Strand or any other fetch lands. Disenchants, and it's a typical thing for anti-artifact. And then for anti-aggro, I have 2 more Wrath of Gods and 2 Path to Exiles. And that's been a deck tech for Xeno MTG.